So Donald Trump has officially started the campaign trail, and he has already made a promise that I think you guys need to hear if you have not heard it. And hopefully this will be some type of a signal to the Democratic Party. Because what he said on the campaign trail is something that I have tried to warn people about. That if the Democratic Party does not wake up and go back towards their true ideals, back when they were like that FDR Democratic Party, if they don't go back to being these anti-war party, if they don't go back to being pro-worker, that what was going to happen and what we've seen already start to happen is that some of the people on the right are going to support those issues. And then some of the people who are workers who may consider themselves to be Democrats are going to say, I'm sorry, I just watched you guys just screw over the rail workers and prevent them from getting sick days. And by the way, it's all for show. It's all theater. It's all theater. So you had some Republicans like Ted Cruz and Josh Hawley support to give them the sick days. They voted in the opposite direction. And then you had Democrats vote not to support it. But they already knew it wasn't going to pass anyway. But it's the optics of it. It gives people the impression, hey, look, the Republican Party is pro-worker now. And that's the problem. And I warned people about this happening. And I said the same thing in reference to this conflict with Russia and Ukraine. I brought up the same thing, that you're supposed to have it where this is how it used to be. The liberals, or the old school liberals, they used to be anti-war. They were against this kind of stuff. They're cheering it on. And now you have people like Marjorie Taylor Greene speaking out against it. Now you also have Donald Trump speaking out against it. This is what I was trying to warn people about. I want you to listen to what he said.
Through weakness and incompetence.
Sorry, it played on its own. Listen to what he said on the campaign trail. This is recent. And remember, he is running.
Through weakness and incompetence, Joe Biden has brought us to the brink of World War III. We're at the brink of World War III, just in case anybody doesn't know it. As president, I will bring back peace through strength. Peace through strength would have never happened. If I was president, there would not have been a war with Russia in Ukraine. Zero chance, and Lindsey would be happy with that. That's better than any alternative. Wouldn't have happened. And I will say this, even now, despite tremendous loss of lives and destruction of much of that country, I would have a peace deal negotiated within 24 hours. You could make a peace deal, you could make a deal for both right now, 24 hours. That deal could be done. That deal is waiting to be done, but there's nobody to do it. To protect Americans from the threat of hypersonic missiles and nuclear weapons, I will build state-of-the-art, next-generation missile defense shields.
Now, to be fair, most likely Trump is just saying what he feels is more popular right now. And when someone is running for office, they're going to say the things that you want to hear, right? So I don't necessarily believe that Trump would do that either. But that's not the point. The point is that a lot of people heard that message and they do believe that. This is the type of message that you would expect to hear from someone from the Democratic Party. Aren't they supposed to be the ones to say, let's call for peace? No. You actually have two parties that are both pro-war and are both corporate. But the problem is right now, the Republican Party is giving the impression by these statements, especially what Donald Trump just said, that they're willing to get out of this conflict. They're willing to end it. They're willing to call for peace. Joe Biden is not doing that. Listen to it again. We'll chime in.
Through weakness and incompetence, Joe Biden has brought us to the brink of World War III. We're at the brink of World War III.
That's true. People need to talk about this part again. Again, I do not like Donald Trump, but this is true. This is reality. We are closer and closer to a nuclear catastrophe. Listen, if they keep pressing the buttons enough, Putin has already told you he has nuclear weapons, no? If it gets worse and worse, who's to say that China won't join Russia? Then everything's screwed. Everyone is screwed. So if anything, there should be a push from Joe Biden for de-escalation. Joe Biden's not pushing for that. He's escalating it. He's sending tanks, which prompted Germany to send tanks, pushing us closer towards it. So he's right about that.
In case anybody doesn't know it, as president, I will bring back peace through strength. Peace through strength would have never happened. If I was president, there would not have been a war with Russia in Ukraine. Zero chance. And Lindsey would be happy with that. That's better than any alternative. Wouldn't have happened. And I will say this, even now, despite tremendous loss of lives and destruction of much of that country, I would have a peace deal negotiated within 24 hours. You could make a peace deal. You could make a deal for both right now, 24 hours. That deal could be done. That deal is waiting to be done, but there's nobody to do it.
You guys see what's happening here? There's more. I have an article about this as well, but do you see what's really starting to happen? This is exactly what I was afraid of. Exactly what I was afraid of. So Newsweek covered this as well. Trump says he could end Russia's war within 24 hours of negotiation. What's that, Hugo? That's pretty bold. I know. I don't see. The thing is, again, people say what they want people to hear when they're running for election. Like, he's just trying to win right now. And he knows that for the most part, a lot of people that are part of the Republican Party, they want this to end. They want to stop to it. And also the anti-war voices want to stop to it. So he's saying the things that he knows that people want to hear. I don't know if you should trust him either. I'm just saying, but still, the Democratic Party is not giving this message. Let's go on. Close that little window there. Former President Donald Trump says he would successfully negotiate an end to the Russia-Ukraine war within 24 hours. Trump, who decades before becoming president was famously credited with authoring The Art of the Deal, which was ghostwritten, argued that his negotiation skills would easily end the conflict, in all caps, post to Truth Social on Thursday. So that's his site, Truth Social. Trump maintained that the war would never have happened if he had not been defeated by President Joe Biden in 2020. I want to ask you guys that question. Do you think that's true? Do you believe that if Trump would have won in 2020, that this war would have never happened? Type 1 for yes and 2 for no in the chat. I'm curious. Oh, I should have created a poll. It's too late now. I can't go in and create it now. Balls. While asserting that he could still bring a quick end to the conflict as president. So it goes on to say here, if I was president, the Russia-Ukraine war would have never happened. But even now, if president, I will be able to negotiate an end to this horrible and rapidly escalating war within 24 hours. Such a tragic waste of human life. In a Truth Social post earlier Thursday, Trump warned that Biden's administration planned to send 31 M1A1 Abrams tanks, boy, that was a doozy, to Ukraine could lead to nukes from Russia. He claimed that ending the war, which is now in its 12th month, would be easy. This is the piece I think we all need to be stressing here. Again, I think that Joe Biden needs to stop pretending like this is not a possibility. Let's go on. First come the tanks, then come the nukes. Get this crazy war ended now. So easy to do. That's coming from Trump. Trump loyalist and Republican Congressman Troy Niels of Texas also touted the prospect of the former president easily solving the conflict earlier Thursday. Niels suggested during a Fox News interview that the war would end if Biden asked Trump to call Russian President Vladimir Putin. If we really want to end this war, Joe Biden, you need to call Donald Trump. Donald Trump will call Vladimir Putin and end this war. We must stop this war, and Donald Trump can do it. Although Trump and some of his allies have argued that the conflict would easily end under the former president's leadership, neither Ukraine or Russia appear willing to negotiate. But I think they have to be pushed to do so. I think this is the point here, is that Joe Biden needs to be pushing them to do so. By the way, I read earlier this morning, Zelensky's asking for more money again. He's asking for more money again. We just gave him money a couple days ago. Just gave him another over $2 billion, and he's already asking for more money. How long is this going to go? Let's go on. This week, Putin's spokesperson, Dmitry Peskov, told reporters that negotiations between Russia and Ukraine were now impossible since there are no conditions for them to either de facto or de jure. But I do want to add here, remember, wasn't that what they were trying to do in the beginning? Weren't they trying to push for some type of negotiation? What happened to that? How long is this supposed to go on? Garland Nixon will be here later this week. I'm going to talk to him about this as well, because I want to get his take on this. But this is crazy. We can't just keep giving them money. Billions and billions of dollars going out the door. We're supposed to bleed ourselves dry. Let's go on. Doo-ba-doo-doo. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky said during a Thursday interview with Sky News that he is not interested in negotiating with Putin, arguing that the Russian president also doesn't want negotiations because he doesn't want peace. Thursday was not the first time that Trump has offered to step in and quickly bring an unlikely end to the Russia-Ukraine war. Last year, the former president volunteered to lead negotiations and argued that Ukraine should have voluntarily ceded territory to Russia to secure peace. Trump has also claimed that U.S. foreign policy under Biden administration had taunted Putin, which he said was almost forcing the Russian president to order the invasion of Ukraine. On January 20th, 2021, Biden's inauguration day, the Washington Post reported that Trump had made a total of 30,573 false or misleading comments during his presidency. Newsweek has reached out to Trump's office for comment. Let me pull this out here. I just don't know where this is supposed to go from here. Like, I really don't. But all the money that just keeps going out the door, like, this is just escalating it more and more and more. And we should be de-escalating.